This is the July 26, 2016 meeting of the Town Planning and Zoning Commission, Town of Fairfield. First item on the agenda, the meeting minutes from last meeting, July 16, 2016. We'll get there in a second.
I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Barrett.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Francis. So, see, of all the regular members, Commissioner Alessi, you were not at the last meeting. Did you watch the tape?
Yeah.
You watched tape.
Watched
So
tape.
you're up to speed?
Yep.
Okay. So, it's all regular members. Anybody have any?
And Mr. Ford for Jackie Coleman's spot.
Oh, right, I didn't see her, her sign, so, right.
So we are currently down a full-time members. So
Right. So, Commissioner Ford, you are on for all matters tonight. All right. And Commissioner Noonan and Corcoran are not.
Noonan, Mr. Noonan is on vacation, and Mark wasn't sure if he was going to make it.
Not sure. Saw the agenda and figured he could, Very good. Anybody have any comments, changes, corrections? All good? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Minutes are adopted unanimously. Next item is new applications to recommend a public hearing. 1537, 1571 Stratfield Road, special exception application of SLD Development 2 LLC pertaining to the construction of an assisted living facility in an R3 zone.
This is the vacant synagogue property on Stratfield Road. That's a couple doors down. It's next to Owen Fish Park, and is proposed for an 83-unit assisted living facility. It's a special exception, requires a public hearing.
Very good.
Make a motion to move to public hearing.
Motion to move to public hearing by Commissioner Alessi. Second by Commissioner Ford. It's required. Anyone else have any comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Move to public hearing unanimously. Next item is old business, 175 Jefferson Street, special exception application of Sacred Heart University for renovation of a portion of an existing building for a student residence hall in an R3 zone.
Okay. This was heard at our last meeting. This is the first phase of a multi-stage master plan for the property that the Sacred Heart University is acquiring from the Jewish Home for the Elderly. This particular proposal involves the demolition of the existing one-story portion of the buildings and the reuse of the Bennett Tower as a student residence hall. They're reorienting much of the parking, the drives, and the sidewalk, creating a central open space area and amphitheater that you saw depicted. There was some discussion at the hearing about the various requests and modifications of the plan that were made at the behest of the fire department, and post-hearing, we did receive the confirming email correspondence that they alluded to at the hearing, and I believe we forwarded that out to you, that the fire department is indeed satisfied with the plan revisions for all facets of emergency access. That is a very brief overview. I can go into more detail if you like, but that is essentially the proposal.
Very good. Thank you.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kennelly. Second by Commissioner McAleese. Commissioner Kennelly?
I was impressed with the presentation. I think it's a good project. I like the direction that the university is taking. I like the fact that they, although it wasn't required, gave us a good sense of what their vision is for this property moving forward, and I urge my colleagues to support the application's approval.
Thank you. Commissioner McAleese?
I agree with Commissioner Kennelly. Also, I think this university's made some really great improvements the past few years. It seems to me, from what I've seen and read in local newspapers, they've been a good neighbor. They're trying to really push themselves forward into the 21st century, and I commend them. So, I'm all in favor.
Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else? Commissioner Francis?
I agree. It was, and it attractive, professional presentation. I'm impressed that they considered all the town engineers' drainage requirements, the walkways, and the safety requirements of the fire department. I thought it was excellent.
Thank you. Commissioner Barris?
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing but positive things to say about the application. Generally, all Sacred Heart applications of recent memory have been really well presented. I'll say additionally, this, it's dorm space, it's going to reduce daily traffic to and from the campus, and it's going to reduce impervious service. So there's a lot of benefits to it outside of, you know, just the benefit to Sacred Heart and their students. So I would support this application. I don't know if we have any conditions to apply to it. I don't really recall. But
I don't have anything other than a standard bond
Yep.
for the site improvements, but there was a pretty comprehensive proposal, and I don't have any to recommend.
okay.
Yeah, the only issue that was outstanding for me was the fire department approval, and we received that by email. You know, the fire chief confirmed that they worked the applicant and approved the plan and everything. Full site circulation, you know, access roads, the whole bit, so it was comprehensive. Anyone else? No? We ready to vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? The item carries unanimously, is approved unanimously. Next item is compliances, 3449 Post Road, compliance application of Eric Merlis for an overall sign plan in the Design Commercial District.
This, you may recall, is down the Post Road in Southport. It was the former location of ADR Auto Body that was recently converted to a Verizon phone store. They are now, they have temporary signage up there. They're looking to do a permanent white individual channel letter signs. They had a black background up there. They're looking to paint that into a cool gray. So that is the color scheme that's laid out to you. We do have a letter from the owner of the building that's making a commitment that future tenant sign changes will be in accordance with this plan going forward. So the other tenants in the building, if they change tenancies or if the existing tenants change signage, they will do likewise with a white channel letter sign. The sizes meet our code requirements.
Thank you. Have a motion for discussion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Alessi,
Second.
second by Commissioner McAleese.
Jim, I got a question for you. In the letter, what is this, the landlord would like to convert the building to white channel letter signage using LED lights consistent with Verizon. Is that consistent with our signage?
Yeah, that's what's proposed here is the white channel letters. They're lit.
With the backlight?
Yeah, normally for many years, channel letters were lit by bent neon tubes. Now it's all LED bulbs behind there, but they're covered. You know, we just don't allow the exposed
The reverse
LED.
lighting.
Right.
Oh.
And otherwise complies with our regulations.
It does, yes.
Okay. Any other comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? The signed plan is approved unanimously. Next item is public hearing, 105 French Street, special exception application of Michael Butler for a rooftop deck in the Beach District.
My name is Mike Butler. I'm here to ask for special exception for rooftop deck. Rooftop deck is 48% of the 100% of the size of that roof, which is meeting the all requirements of coverage. This house was newly elevated, and it's compliance with all FEMA regulations. So the last thing, the owners would like to get approval for rooftop deck behind the house. It's wetlands. There is no building, so that would not obstruct any views for anybody living behind the house, and up front of it, there is a view of the sound. So that's it.
What is the overall height of the building, including the deck?
Okay, the floor of the deck or the top of the rail?
The top of the rail.
Top of the rail, right now the building is at, it's under 30, it's 29.7, which the allowance is 30. The rail is gonna add additional 48 inches. I would like to have a, I would like
Back
to,
up just a little
yeah,
bit.
I would like to add a taller than average rail since it's so high. So I would not recommend 36-inch rail. I would apply 48-inch rail. So the railing would be 4 feet above the allowance.
I'm sorry, could you just repeat that?
Okay, the top of the rail is gonna be at 34 feet.
Top of the rail,
Top.
34 feet.
34 feet, right.
That's including the elevation, is this on? Yeah. That's including the elevation, off the ground?
Yes, well, they measure of right of the ground is, hold on 1 second. In flat zone, you measure the height from the freeboard, but of the ground, you will add additional 48 inches. So when you measure right from the ground to the top of the rail, would be 38 feet and 2 inches.
Yeah.
Commissioner Barron?
On the site plan, where it's got the current and proposed, the maximum height for the structure in the zone is 30 feet, as you said, and it says proposed 26.7, so, I mean, how does that stop? Does this,
There might be a typo.
that might be a typo? Can we get some, does this technically comply with our regulations?
It does.
Right,
What
look
the
at the
grid, Jim went for the record, what the grid and the site plan does not account for is in our flood zone regulations, we've added height above the 30 feet. You get 1 additional foot of height for every 2 feet between average grade and the required first floor elevation. So that adds a couple of feet, in this case, I think 4 feet to the maximum height. So if that says 30 feet, in this case, it'd be at 34. There's a,
What's the, above the maximum grade, how much is it, 8 feet?
it is,
I mean, above the average grade?
average grade is elevation 4, and in this case, yes, so it's 8 feet, so they get 4 additional feet above 30.
So they get 4 additional feet,
Yep.
that's what I was trying to get for the
Correct.
calculations. They get
Correct.
4 above 30,
Mhm.
so really, the structure can't be more than 34 feet.
Correct.
And we're asking for 38.
No, the midpoint, it's measured to the midpoint of that ridge. There's an allowance for, the railing doesn't count into that
That's what I
requirement. It's
thought.
kind of like a parapet wall around the roof in
Right.
like a commercial building.
Right,
We
we
don't-
we measure height to the midpoint of
Right,
of the...
right. And I just wanted to say one other thing. This is the first one we've had in a while. There is a kind of what I would call a quirky provision in our beach district regulations that for rooftop decks that are on the highest roof requires a special exception application. I think when that was put into place early on in the beach district regulations, there was some concern that perhaps a rooftop deck might be intrusive from the neighbor's perspective. So this process was established for that. So the neighbors within 200 feet were all sent notice of the hearing, so they had an opportunity to be heard.
Right. Which is why I was querying the overall height, including the railing and so forth. That would be seen from the street or from neighbors and the like. Yeah.
Yes, behind that property, there is a Scandinavian club, which it's just meadows, so that would not obstruct anybody's view of the sounds. The neighbors around are one-story structures, so this is already all up high there.
So behind there's just
M-
fields?
Meadows.
Okay.
It's that Scandinavian club and all that meadows and wetlands. So it's nobody ever gonna build there.
There would be you're not aware of it obstructing anyone's view?
There's no obstruction to no property behind it.
Okay. Commissioner Alessi?
Mr. Wendt, basically, we're measuring from the midpoint of the ridge, but the ridge is kind of taken away at this point because we're really putting a flat roof across. If we're looking at the rear,
I misspoke. If you look at there's a front elevation, and you see the way we would define our measurement of height,
I'm looking at
it would be
this.
29 feet, 8 and a quarter to the flat,
Even the
to
back, it's a flat, yeah.
the flat
It's
roof.
not a midpoint ridge.
Well,
Say that
I
again?
think what,
I'm sorry, if you look at the proposed front elevation,
Right.
you can see that the measurement of height is that 29 foot, 8 and 1/4 inch dimension, and that's measured to the flat, the roof deck.
Yeah, but you also still have 4.5 on the bottom, which is the allowable, right?
That's correct.
Right.
That's the bottom point of the measurement, that 1 foot for 2.
to here,
But,
You
but what I'm saying is no longer a midpoint to the roof, because we're basically making a
Not in
flat
this,
roof.
in this case, we'd measure to the flat roof deck.
Right.
Yes, I misspoke earlier. You can express that one of two ways. You can either show it from from the grade up and combine the numbers to get to that 34 feet, but here they just started the measuring point up that 4 feet, 2.5 inches, and then use the 30 foot from there. So that's just a different way to express the same calculation. But it's measured to the roof deck.
right. So we are measuring to the flat
flat
roof
roof.
roof deck.
Yes, sir.
And they're coming in exactly at the maximum allowed,
Well,
30 feet.
about 3 inches up, about 3 inches under.
3 inches, okay, fair enough. So to Commissioner Barrett's point, the data accumulation on the, what is this called? The improvement location survey indicates that the proposed maximum height is 26.7, which is not exactly accurate, is that
That
right?
might have been a typo. We write under 30, but we didn't have no choice. We had the minimum that we had to go above sea level in order to compliance with FEMA. So if we could go a little bit lower, we would, but that was, you know what I mean? So it's basically, and in that case, there might be a typo, you know, in the grid, basically. Eugene must have just, you know, this is, we got a CO already on the lift itself, and we're under 30, so.
You're correct, that notation in the proposed column is an error, and we'll make sure that gets corrected.
They might have wanna type 29, and they just type the 6 in.
I think you can see it too, if you look at the drawing down in the bottom left corner of that page, it shows you both numbers, so whoever picked it up to put it in the chart probably looked at the
you know,
26.7 instead of the 29.
They might have wanna go through that fake front gable. We try to keep the style in the Nantucket style, so we add that front gable, the peak, and maybe they was confused by the surveyors.
Okay. And the,
It was just cosmetic, that peak over there.
and the maximum number of stories for the building, the
2.5.
maximum is 2, here it's 2.5, but it was 2.5 before? Is that, just,
Yes, yes,
non-conformity?
was 2.5 prior, the lift. There was an attic, over there, and, we just converted to you know, flat roof, the peak roof, and, we under 7 feet, so we within the compliance, so it's a 2.5 story.
Okay. Yes? Okay.
we're asking to approve a deck 4 feet higher than we're allowed.
It's 3 inches below the maximum.
So we're not counting a railing then?
Yeah, right. The height's measured to the deck itself. The railing around it is not included in the height calculation.
I was curious as to how high the railing was. But the maximum allowable height is measured to the floor of the roof deck.
And Mr. McAleese is correct. On the survey, there's two depictions of height in that bottom left diagram on the site plan. One is 26 feet to the midpoint of the sloped roof. The other is 29.7 to the flat roof deck. They just entered the wrong number in the grid.
So just to confirm, right? The maximum allowable height from the ground to the floor of the roof deck is 34 feet in this case.
Cor-
No.
Correct.
Correct, because we get the added back.
Correct.
4 feet, okay? And in this case, the applicant is proposing a 48-inch railing as opposed to a higher one to keep the rail height lower. Is that right?
No, they're actually proposing higher than code requires, I think, for safety issues. He wants to go a little higher.
He's
just-
going 48 inches rather than 36 inches
Rather than
because of the
36.
height, just to make sure it's
Okay.
got an extra height of the railing.
So the
Peak over.
halfway point of the peak does not come into play, because we're really talking a flat roof building.
That is correct.
Okay.
And this railing is only like the sort of back half almost of the roof. It's not, looks like by the side elevation, or left elevation.
Correct. The actual
Toward the back of the
footprint, the
roof.
actual footprint of the deck is limited to no more than 50% of the area of the roof, so.
So the railing goes all the way around the area, but it
Correct.
does not go all the way around the roof.
Right.
That's what I.
Only around the deck, which is 48% of the size of the roof.
Good.
Correction, 42%.
42?
We just going 42, so we not maxing it. We really like modest. We about
Does anyone else have any questions?
Haven't heard anything from the neighbors
no
No concerns
no concerns. No, all the neighbors are excellent.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much. Is there any member of the public that wishes to be heard on this item? Going once, going twice? Okay. You'd like to, yes, please. Just step forward, just name and address for the record.
Hi, my name's Josh Schaefer. I'm actually the homeowner. I just wanted to say thank you very much for considering the deck, and I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Any other member of the public wish to be heard? Okay, hearing none. I will close the public hearing on this item. And no other business, I'll adjourn the meeting.